My name is Jason Perkins, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Georgia Workers' Compensation video series. I'm an attorney who specializes in Georgia workers' compensation cases. I created this series of videos because I want to provide people who've been hurt at work with helpful information about Georgia's workers' compensation law, the rules of Georgia workers' compensation, and the benefits available to people who've been hurt at work under Georgia workers' compensation law. Today, I want to talk to you about insurance adjusters, and specifically, I want to talk to you about three things that the workers' compensation insurance adjuster in your case may not tell you. Now, I deal with lots of insurance adjusters, and there's many good insurance adjusters out there. But I can tell you there's numerous times where I've talked to people who've been hurt at work after they've spoken with insurance adjusters, and they haven't been told everything that they need to know about their workers' compensation case. So I'm going to talk to you about three specific things today that I see a lot that insurance adjusters don't discuss with people who've been hurt at work. The first thing is that you have a right to choose your doctor. Now, that right to choose your doctor is not an absolute right. You often can't just pick any doctor that you want to. But many times, your employer or the insurance adjuster in your workers' compensation case won't tell you that you have any right to choose your doctor. They may just direct you to go to a particular doctor, or say you've got to pick a doctor that's in their network, or say the certain doctor you treat with is not somebody that you can treat with. So your rights in workers' compensation to pick a doctor are often determined by whether your employer has what's called a posted panel of physicians or not. It's basically a list of workers' compensation doctors with doctors that your employer chooses on it. It should have at least 6 doctors on it, but you actually get to choose which doctor is going to treat you in your workers' compensation case. And you have a right to change to a different doctor on that list if you want to at some point. If your employer doesn't have that list posted or didn't follow all the rules about that list, you may be able to choose any doctor that you want you to provide treatment in your workers' compensation case. That's an important thing to know about because having a good doctor is important to getting good medical treatment and getting better. Second thing that an insurance adjuster may not tell you is that you have a right to be reimbursed for your travel expenses when you're going to get medical treatment or testing. We call this reimbursement for mileage cost. The insurance company should reimburse you at the rate of 40 cents a mile for your travel to and from the doctor, the pharmacy, physical therapist, the MRI facility, for any medical treatment or testing that you're going to get as a result of your workers' comp injury. You're also entitled potentially to reimbursement for meals in the event that the appointment lasts over a certain period of time, your travel takes over a certain period of time. That's not often the case, but sometimes if you're going for a very long appointment or you're having to travel a long way, you may be entitled to reimbursement for meals for that appointment as well. It's especially important to know about your right to be reimbursed for the travel because you're having to spend money for gas and wear and tear in your car, so you want to get reimbursed for that. Again, workers' compensation reimburses at the rate of 40 cents a mile, but you have to submit that to get reimbursed for it. And if you don't know about it, then you're never going to submit it. There's also deadlines on the time frame for getting it submitted, so if you don't find out about it, then you may never get reimbursed for mileage you should have been reimbursed for. The third thing that many insurance adjusters don't discuss with you is that your employer has a duty to provide you with suitable work within the restrictions from your workers' compensation doctor. If they don't, the insurance company should have to pay you workers' compensation wage loss benefits. Now, many times after you get injured at work, the doctor may either say that you should be out of work completely or may release you to return to work with some sort of limitations or restrictions. Now, if you're placed on limitations or restrictions, your employer is supposed to comply with those limitations or restrictions. They're supposed to provide you with a suitable job, or if they don't, the insurance company should pay you workers' compensation wage loss benefits. Many times when an employer provides you with a job after you've been hurt, that job is not completely suitable. They may ask you to do some things that exceed your work restrictions. You have a right to make them comply with those work restrictions. If they're asking you to lift 20 pounds and the doctor says you shouldn't be lifting more than 10 pounds, you need to be sure not to do that. It's often helpful to make sure that you keep a copy of your work restrictions with you when you're working so that anything that the employer asks you to do in excess of those restrictions, you can let them know that you shouldn't be doing that because your doctor says that you're not supposed to lift that much or stand that long or whatever the restriction is. But it's just important to make sure that they comply with the restrictions. One, you don't want to get injured worse than you already are, so from that point it's helpful. But two, you don't want to be in pain from doing things that exceed your restrictions. If they're asking you to exceed your restrictions and they won't provide you with a suitable job, then they should be sending you home and paying you wage loss benefits. I hope you found this information about some of the things that a workers' compensation adjuster may not tell you about your workers' compensation case helpful. If you have, please let me know that. The best way you can do that is by liking this video or giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch more of my workers' compensation videos, all the videos from the Georgia Workers' Compensation video series are available on our Perkins Studdard Workers' Compensation YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to that channel and be notified of future videos as they come out. If you've got some specific questions about your workers' compensation case, a free consultation is normally the best way to get those questions answered. There's two easy ways you can set up a free consultation with me if you'd like to do so. The first is by calling the phone number on the bottom of the screen, or the second is by visiting our website, which is www.perkinslawtalk.com, where you can click and submit a free consultation request form, and someone from our workers' compensation team will reach out to you to get a consultation scheduled. I'd like to thank you again for watching this video today. I want to wish you the best of luck as you recover from your injury.